It's where students discuss their views. It's Cat Chat, brought to you by Northwest Student Media.
Thanks for tuning in with us here on Cat Chat, where students discuss their views. We're about to introduce our panelists real quick and then just jump into some great discussion.
I'm Bryson Scott.
I'm Erin Wilkins.
And I'm Sydney Otter.
I'm your host, Jordan Johnson. Thank you guys for joining us today. How's the week going?
Good.
It could have been way better. I had 2 tests this week, but the stress is off for now, so I'm feeling a little bit better.
How perfect is that? I mean, it's homecoming week, and so it's about to, celebrations time to start. Knock those tests out the way, right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
So,
how's my week going?
Yes.
Oh, excellent, man. It's homecoming week. Life's good. Life's going good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, today I was reading through the paper, and something that stood out to me, and especially the producer of the show, was the rape kit. That is a bill that has been passed from through the government about anybody that has been a victim of sexual assault is allowed to receive a rape kit. What is inside of this rape kit is information and options that you can take as far as acting out, going after the person that has actually assaulted you, or places you can go to get help or talk about your issues. When I first thought about this, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity. It could be such a detrimental experience for somebody in somebody's life. And to get this type of information and have that at hand, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity. But I would love to hear, you guys' opinions and thoughts on, this whole rape victim opportunity, this kit that you can receive from, make this phone call and get this information.
Well, sexual assault's obviously probably one of the worst things that could ever happen to anyone. So I think just making an effort to protect victims from it and just sort of make their lives easier is obviously great. So I think that bill's awesome. I think it's a good thing for society in general.
Nice.
I thought it was really good because it was talking about how you can keep it for as long as you want.
Right.
And so it said that if you can't really get the case, take it to court for another few years, you can still keep it, they don't throw it away, so you have clear evidence.
Right.
So I think that's really good because a lot of the cases are thrown away because they're well, you don't have enough evidence, but now you have it. So this is, I think it will give people the right amount of justice.
Yeah, I would agree. I know that a lot of rape victims never see their day in court, and I think it's something that you definitely need to see your day in court because that's not okay, and to face that alone would not be okay.
True that. Well, now they have resources to help them out, to reach out to individuals that want to help them. But I really want to touch into the whole them receiving the justice that they deserve. That's a different perspective on it. Yes, this is an avenue or a resource that they can that can guide them, into getting that justice. But do you really think that this is going to be something that's going to be utilized and actually you see more turnaround and actually see more results coming from not just putting off I went ahead and filed my case and it's actually not being taken care of. Things get lost, or it's been years since we brought it back up. Do you think this would be something that'll actually push them or motivate them to be everybody, so a lot more people are standing up and saying this has happened to them? How do you think that this is actually going to push toward receiving the just result in that?
I think it'll actually help because nowadays you see cases where people, like I said, that it's just thrown away because you don't have enough evidence. But now that we do have this clear evidence to show, people that have been raped, that didn't think that they would receive justice, that didn't want to come out because they didn't think they'd get help. Now I think it would encourage them to get the help that they would want or need. Because I think it's ridiculous that people just throw it out as well, boys will be boys, and people understand, and oh, she was too drunk. It doesn't matter. We all do things we're not supposed to do in certain situations when you're under the influence, but you should be held responsible for your actions.
Indeed, a part of being an adult is to suffer the consequences of your decisions you made. And so that's a really huge point. Anybody else want to expound on what they hope to see, come from this? Or
I think that we still need to encourage the victim a little bit more because a lot of victims don't want to face their rapist again in court, and that's that is part of the trial. And I think that's what also stops a lot of rapists being prosecuted because the victim won't take the stand.
Great point. Well, hopefully this does motivate them and push them to be more courageous and stand up and have a voice. Are there any incidences that kind of comes to mind that could have been changed if they had this resource back then?
I
think the whole case of like Daisy Coleman, I mean, it kind of came back into play, but like in the first place, like I remember like, cause she went to my high school too. Like I know she went to Maryville and Albany, and so like they were basically saying that like there wasn't enough evidence and that she couldn't do anything about it. So.
Right. I think, I mean, other than this being a resource to, you know what I'm saying, like reach out and find lawyers and people that can defend you, like you said, hopefully this will help in bookkeeping, you know what I'm saying, quality too. But we have to jump into our first break, so thank you for tuning in with us, and I hope you continue to enjoy our conversation.
It's where students discuss their views. It's Cat Chat, brought to you by Northwest Student Media.
Here we are back live in the Student Union. Thank you for tuning in with us here on Cat Chat. We're about to jump into our favorite article that's in the paper. We talk about it every week, and that is the stroller. This week she is writing about the relationships versus situationships. What is our problem in not wanting to be committed to one another? And why is marriage such a, oh my God, like one of those things that make your heart skip like 4-5 beats and almost pass out? Like, oh no, I can't even imagine getting married, let alone like tell you that I'm gonna be like commit myself to you in a relationship. What's our problem as college students, and what's our problem in our world, in our society nowadays, that we want to date for 15, 20 years and never say or claim like one another as like ours?
I don't know. I just feel like it's not even dating.
It's okay, keep going.
I don't even feel like it's dating anymore. Like we're not dating for 10 to 15 years. It's like, hey, I like you and you like me, but we are not going to be together. Like you can sleep with who you want and I can sleep with who I want, and like, and that crap is not okay. Like that is so crappy.
I agree.
I think it's a funny thing how a lot of individuals in college, like today, some people are looking for relationships, and other people are like, these are my college years, like I want to go out and like I want to like meet all these guys and like hook up and stuff. But it's like the end, like the thing that most people see in life, like the end result is that they want to be with someone, not that they just want to hook up with all these people. Like hooking up definitely gets old. And I thought it was really funny when I read this. It says that if you can be with someone and say that you love them, but you can't commit to them, that there's a special seat in hell for you because you're a horrible person. And that just resonated deep inside the depths of my soul, because like I've definitely been in that situation before. And it's like, if you don't like if you like me and you don't want to like do anything with me, then like you're wasting my time. Like I don't want to be like keep being led on to not know like what's going to go on.
But you know what,
it's a matter of time. Like if it's like a couple weeks, you're like, okay, like I'm still like getting used to it, all this stuff. But if you've been talking to someone for like 2 months and they're just like, yeah, I'm not really sure, like I don't know, then it's like, just get out of my life
if
then.
You can
just
say
get
I
out.
love you, you should not be like, I'm gonna say I love you and then be like,
I love you, but I think I want to be single.
I can definitely see where, you know what I'm saying, the conflict would happen, you know what I'm saying, with me saying I love you and us not being committed to each other. But at the same time, like this whole like, us talking thing, first of all, what is identified as talking? Because apparently it's okay to talk to multiple people but not date multiple people. You know what I mean? But even when you're dating multiple people or dating even one person, you're still, there's no title there. So it's kind of like, how do I know that we've moved on from the talking phase? Like who is it? And then as a guy, we approach women and we say like, listen, I think I find you extremely beautiful, attractive, and you have a great personality with a mind to boot. And I approach you like that, and what you say, you're like, oh, thank you so much, I'll give you my number. And then like, are we talking, or you know what I'm saying, did you just appreciate the compliment and so you felt like my reward was your number?
You're in the process of pursuing this person. I don't think it's like really talking unless it's like been like a
and then
week
what
or
type
two.
of conversation is actually being held when we're so-called talking? Are we talking about, you know, your future? Where do you plan on going after graduation? Most people nowadays don't even know what their major is going to be, let alone what they're going to do after graduation. So I'm supposed to sit here and sit down and talk to you about where you want to live, what type of job you want to have, a family that you aspire to, you know what I'm saying, hopefully have in the future.
I think that's a little much to be talking.
But see,
that's scary. Like, talking is like, you have a really good point.
It's the first steps of a relationship.
It's very vague.
It's the very first steps of a relationship when you're first getting to know someone, and then you decide if you're going to start going steady. That's what I would describe talking as.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Bryson did a good job of it. Thank you.
So should the talking be more, you know what I'm saying, considered as like you can kind of almost, you know what I'm saying, go hand in hand with hanging out because you're
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
the
figure
same
out what it
concept. It's
means.
the same idea. You're just like, you're getting to know someone. You can like go on a date and still be talking to someone. Dating someone's when you're actually in a relationship, in my mind. That's
Okay.
how I would describe it. I don't know.
Got you.
Yeah.
It's just so nerve-wracking.
My take on the stroller is that like whoever wrote this obviously has been told that they've been like are in like, oh, I love you, and then that person is like won't commit to them. And
Right.
that,
Yeah,
I
we're
just
not
don't
just
understand
talking
how
about,
you do
like-
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's,
we're not
you know,
just-
you're a dickhead if you do that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
We're not
excuse my
just-
language. I don't know.
Okay,
If
so
that's,
when do we when do we take it into our own hands and be responsible? Okay, so like if I'm spending a lot of time with you and we're supposed to be talking and I'm noticing that there's certain, you know, limitations to where you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, out in public, you don't want to hold my hand, or out on Facebook or put it in, you know what I'm saying, public that we are actually committed to one another. Who am I? Why would I continue to invest in you? You know what I mean? Why would I continue to have sex with you? Why would I continue to, you know what I'm saying, introduce you to my friends and get to know you and, you know what I'm saying, share myself with
well,
you?
that's
You're
between
free.
that's
Well,
between
that's
you
it
that's
there,
between
right
you
there.
and you and her though. Like that's where you have to figure out where you guys stand.
But
I
see, at the
guess.
same time,
Oh,
but if a
God.
person, I mean, that's just like if I say, hey, I really want to get serious with you, and you're like, I really don't know. And why would I continue to invest in you and you just said you don't know? It's time
But
for me
that's
to back
it.
off.
But that's the thing is like, there's this thing, like, I don't know if it's just guys do this or girls do this too, because I don't know if I've ever done it,
Go
but
ahead.
it's like, guys do this thing where they're like, I really like you, I just can't
But-
date you right now.
Oh,
and it's like, oh, boom,
that
now
happened
I
to me.
cannot leave
I
or
just
see anyone
can't
else.
Okay,
right
so-
now. I
My girl
cannot.
brain just
So how,
stops working.
so how about you
God.
stop giving
It's
the
not a
person,
good time. Then don't pursue me. Don't
person
pursue
that
me
you're
if it's
talking
a bad
to-
time.
the person that you're talking to or you're pursuing a relationship with, how about you stop giving them the benefits of a relationship when you're just talking?
Well,
because
I
I'm
don't-
sorry, me
like,
personally.
holding it back
Okay,
for myself.
I'll just-
Ooh.
So then you potentially put yourself. It's kind of like walking to a dragon's den without, you know what I'm saying, your shield and your sword, talking about I hope I don't get burned.
Oh.
That's BS.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
And-
if you
He's
put
got
yourself out
me.
there, it's like, okay, I want to be in a real relationship, but I'm gonna give you everything. You know what I'm saying? That what it means to be in a relationship before you even I even know if you really like me.
It's just
I don't
a
know.
girl
Well,
with
here's
her
the thing.
hopes up.
Okay, like relationships by their very nature, like they're hard to do. Okay, like there's not a lot of easy answers to this, and that's the whole point of it. Relationships aren't necessarily easy.
True.
Okay, so you just gotta figure it out. Like you just gotta work through it. It's work. Okay.
Most
You just gotta. With some people, you can't necessarily always like. It's not always gonna work out. You gotta put in the effort, and sometimes it's not always gonna pay off. But still, you gotta work at it.
And
I'll just sum it up like that. How about that?
It just seems to me like a lot of times that people are coming about in these situationships or, you know what I'm saying, hopping into relationships over and over and over because, first of all, you don't know yourself. And then
Yeah.
you're trying to, you don't even, and then second, you don't know what you want
Yeah.
in pursuing this so-called relationship.
Well-
and then third, you're trying to date somebody that you don't know. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know a lot of people who like they've had a girlfriend since like 7th grade or something. They've always
Right.
been in a relationship. So I don't know. I think personally, you got to take time, like take an extended amount of time to sort of figure your own life out before you can try to really commit to someone else.
Well-
but that's just me. I could be way off base there. I don't know.
well, we got to jump into our
Anyway.
break, but you heard it here. As you see, it's a very controversial, you know what I'm saying, topic, talking, dating, and jumping into relationships. So I guess you know what I'm saying, from the students, be careful, identify what you want, and continue to tune in with us. See you in a minute.
It's where students discuss their views. It's Cat Chat, brought to you by Northwest Student Media.
Good afternoon. Thank you for continuing to tune in with us. Now we're about to jump into and promote one of the events that are coming up here next week on November 3rd. The name of the event is called the Partisan Perspective. And what this event will entail is they have 5 distinguished or disclaiming topics talking about controversial things with the politics and government, universal health care, just a huge arrangement of topics. But what this is really all about is getting students, faculty, members of our community to come out and actually engage in conversation and dialogue about things that people are usually afraid of. Such as race, ethnicities, policies, foreign policies, and things of that nature. How do we open up in discussion about this stuff? So what we're this event, I'm actually going to be one of the panelists on this event, so I'm super excited about it. But one of the things that everybody's having trouble with is like, what's the event really going to entail, and how if it's an open forum, how do us as students get involved, and what type of questions are we supposed to ask? And so it's like, as students, when you heard about this event, the Partisans perspective, when you first like got a wind about this, what did you think, and what are some of the ideas that came to your mind?
Well, I just heard about it about 10 minutes before the show started, but I mean, honestly, a lot of great topics and like sort of interesting things that like are good to be talked about and good to sort of think about. I mean, what we talked about, like what national health care or something, like socialized health care or universal health care, that's it.
Right.
You know, stuff like that's actually like really big picture, like big concept, cool stuff that I think like would be really beneficial to a lot of people. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to go, but I'd like to go. It sounds like it'd be a really interesting event.
Right on.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to go, considering like I honestly don't look into like anything. I'm just more worried about like my homework and like schoolwork and stuff like that. So like I really need to open myself up to the world, but I really don't. But for someone that's not really like as educated on that type of stuff like as me, like I'm not really. It'd be good for someone like me to go, because like then you can learn things. Like you can hear different perspectives, like and like different opinions from different people.
Right.
So I think that'd be a really like good idea to do something like that. Like it's not a class, but I mean it can still teach you.
Right. And what makes this like event like really cool is that all of the panelists will come from different backgrounds, ethnicities, races, gender, and it is really going to be like everybody's going to have the opportunity not only to introduce themselves and then identify themselves as like class or gender or whatever they may be, and then what they represent, but then also share their perspective. And so like as I mean, we have men and women and then also different races here on this you know what I'm saying, talk show. What are you hoping, like, as far as like discussion? Like, I mean, there's plenty of people around this campus that we encounter on the daily, but we do not engage in conversation because we don't understand them. If you came to this discussion or you heard about this discussion, what is a topic that burns deep inside of you that's like, I'm tired of people avoiding this. I want somebody to actually give me the answer. I don't care if it causes an argument and it takes 4 or 5 hours to get an answer. I want to know. What is something that you really want to like bring to the forefront and have people like discuss?
Mine would be women supporting Trump. Like yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand it. That guy literally has said he makes sexual advances on women and unwanted. Like that's technically rape. Like come on.
Yeah.
And
Real
I
talk.
don't understand how, as a woman, if you are a self-respecting woman, you support him. And I need to know the answer.
And she needs to know the answer.
Need to know.
I think like what we were talking about earlier, like rape and stuff, is just like how it's okay for someone to get away with it because like, oh, like she was wearing provocative clothing. Everyone wears provocative clothing. Like even guys, like they walk around shirtless, but like I mean, like shirtless guys, come on.
You know what?
But like it's just like, but like, and obviously like everyone is so sexualized. Like women are sexualized, men are sexualized.
Yes.
Like for women to just say like it's mainly us, like I mean you see mostly women, but like we've done it with men too. Like I've
All the
definitely been
time.
like, damn, like that's a fine piece of meat right there. Like look at that guy. But it's like I don't understand like how you can like go to court and be like, well, she was wearing this clothing, she was like under the influence. Like it's okay, it's fine, and then someone can just get away with something like that. It's not right, and I don't understand why people think that that's okay. So I want to dig deep and just know the true meaning behind that, because I don't get it. It's not okay to hurt someone.
Oh, not okay to hurt someone. You heard it here. Bryson,
Like on that topic, I mean, I'm totally with these girls. I don't understand how, going back to the whole women supporting Trump, I still don't get it. I don't understand how you can be like a strong, confident woman and be like, yeah, I support this man, especially when he like, all he does is legit consistently like put women down.
And he lies.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get how you can be like a different ethnicity and support Trump the way like he just acts and like talks and just treats other people. I don't know.
It's just so hard because it's like, how can you really support either of them? Like, it's just so
I mean, I'm not a
hard,
huge
but
fan of-
Trump is definitely.
I'm not a huge fan of Hillary Clinton. Like, she's clearly a very flawed candidate, but like Donald Trump has no right even running for president in my mind.
Right.
He's just
I feel
totally
ya.
unqualified for it. But anyway,
So we got the presidential candidates. We have why anybody would support, but let alone women support Donald Trump. We have the sexual assault. I mean, but so hopefully, you know what I'm saying, if you come out, you can ask these questions. This is what's going to continue dialogue. This is how the forum is going to be successful. But now we are about to jump into our last break, and hope you continue to tune in with us, because next we have a special guest coming to also talk about and celebrate an up-and-coming event next week, which will be November the 2nd. Hope you continue to tune in with us, and we'll be back.
It's where students discuss their views. It's Cat Chat, brought to you by Northwest Student Media.
Thanks for tuning in back with us here on Cat Chat. We're about to jump into our last segment. I thank you for joining us. My special guest here, what's your name again?
Rodney McDuffie.
Rodney McDuffie. He is here to celebrate and talk about an up-and-coming event called, it's going to be Places in Complex Space, Policing in Contemporary America. Man, when I first saw this, I was like, yo, this is going to be a deep conversation. I already know. I heard about some of the professors on the part of this flyer that's going to be accompanying the keynote speaker, but he's a person that I did not know too much about, a Dr. Tyrone Douglas. Could you mind giving us a few details about him real quick?
Yeah. So Dr. Tyrone Douglas, he's a professor at Mizzou, and he's also like a renowned author.
Wow.
Yeah, so like he's been like traveling, you know, the world really. Like just last week he was in Bermuda promoting his new book, Race in Complex Space, and so basically he's a forefront in education and in diversity within Mizzou, and so we had the privilege of inviting him down here at Northwest through Dr. Simmons, you know, the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion office.
Yes. Right. That is awesome. That is awesome. And how did how did you get him to come, and what are you hoping to like educate the Northwest about?
Right. So we got him to come we've worked with several offices around here at Northwest, from Student Senate, the Office of Affairs, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Pre-Law Society, and Criminal Justice. So I believe it's one of the biggest collaborations really in Northwest history, trying to get one event. And so we reached out to Dr. Ty Douglas, and he was very, very excited to like come down Northwest and basically educate students on mass incarceration, prison pipeline. It's going to be a very, very deep conversation, a much needed one, not only in the world, but definitely here on campus.
Got you. And I see that he is going to be accompanied, I saw by some of the professors here at Northwest.
Right.
And this is going to be more of a discussion, like a forum type thing, or is this going to be just them really just kind of up there taking bits and pieces of what it means to be like policed in like contemporary America?
Right. So the way that we have it formatted is that we have Dr. Tyrone Douglas at the forefront, and he's going to basically give the keynote speech. It's going to be about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on however he feels that day. But then we also have different panelists, different professors from Northwest. We have first Dr. Smith, the pre-law professor, and he's going to give students the more of, here are your rights in America, especially during police encounters, police stops. And then we also have Dr. Casey, and she's the criminal justice professor here. And she's basically going to say, hey, here's the system, here's the statistics on what's actually going on in America, and especially within the criminal justice system. And then we also have Dr. Keith Woods, and he is the public safety director of Nottoway County. And it's not on the flyer yet, but we also have a special guest who's also going to be a panelist.
All right.
Sarah Baker from the ACLU, and she's going to speak on public policy different in policing.
Right on. That's like really, really exciting. And where exactly is this going to take place again?
Yep, it's going to take place at the Ron Houston Center, and it's going to be at November 2nd from starting at 7 p.m.
Okay, all right. And are there anything that students could prepare themselves for like beforehand? Like, is there anything that we could do like as far as like going on a site, or you know what I'm saying, kind of like preparing questions or something like that?
Right.
What would be?
Yeah, so students can prepare questions, you know, before they get, you know, just general questions like, okay, what's going on? Or what should I do when I get pulled over by the police? How should I go about that way? So students can definitely prepare questions, because when the professors speak, it is going to be open up to Q&A for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So students can ask away. And we definitely want to give them the information. Right
on. Okay, well, you've heard it here. Thank you so much, Rodney McDuffie, for coming out. He's representing Student Senate, and what was the other organization you're part of?
I'm also on the speech and debate team. I wear a lot of hats around here.
Yeah, he does. I mean, like you said, he's put together this event that has collabed a whole bunch of different organizations. So if you have the time, please come out and celebrate with us with Dr. Tyrone Douglas, I apologize, at the Ron Houston on November 2nd. Thanks for tuning in here with the Cat Chat, and we'll see you soon.